ultimately, when I get out of bed every morning, I have to act. I have to make choices about where to go, how to spend my time. When I encounter people, I have to make choices about how to treat a certain person a certain way. And my faith ultimately informs, I think, my values and what I'm really striving most to accomplish here on this earth. And it informs mostly how I interact with people and how I choose to spend my time. It doesn't so much inform the exact experiments I do every day as a scientist. I'm just a garden variety scientist. I'm interested in brain and brain phenomena and their rootedness in the nervous system, higher level behavior phenomena, how they're related to the nervous system. And I'm a workaday scientist like everyone else is. But I'm more than a scientist. I am ultimately a person here who's landed in this world, and my consciousness has emerged out of this evolutionary process of the species and out of the gestational and developmental process of my own body and on my own nervous system. And I have to try to figure out, how do I make certain choices? On what basis do I make certain choices? And to me, that relates deeply back to what kind of universe ultimately do we live in? Do we live in a universe where our highest values and intuitions about ethical behavior are in touch with the central reality of the universe and the reason that universe was built from the beginning? Or are our highest values and ethical intuitions simply the products of, are they kind of a joke, an accident that really have nothing to do with what the universe is about in the long run? And in fact, the universe is about nothing in the long run. Now that's a fundamental choice that I have to make, and to me that has all kinds of ripples through my behavior, through the choices of how I deal with people, through how I view my nation and its political actions, to how I view the economic system that I live in, economic decisions that I make. And for me, the choice to believe and the choice of faith is a choice to believe that our moral sense and our deepest moral intuitions and our highest behavior is not just a cry in the darkness, but it gives us fundamental hints about the kind of universe we live in and how it's really organized and why we were put here to begin with. That it's not just, our highest intuitions are not just wishful thinking in a sense, but the religious point of view is that it's the truth itself, okay, that sets us wishing in the first place. And those wishes and those hopes and intuitions are built into our nervous system through an evolutionary process that ultimately had an author and ultimately had a purpose in bringing into being creatures like ourselves. And that brings a coherence to my life. It brings a stability to my life. It brings my notions of reality into good coherence with notions of ethics. And those things are very important to me as a human, and coherence is important to me as a scientist as well, just as a scientifically organized intellect. So, ultimately, if I had to choose between the science that I do and my religious faith, I would choose my religious faith. Religious faith is more fundamental to who I am than the science I do. I'm very privileged to do science and have the opportunity for making a living as an academic and as a scientist is something I'm so clearly talented for and cut out for. But it's not as fundamental to who I am as the religious faith.